Brett Miller here, Miami Community Newspapers. I'm in the back studio. I'm with Vincent and Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, as you would call her. Queen Elizabeth?
Of course.
Yes. Now, Fred Astaire, it's exciting. You moved to Palmetto Bay, 141st, and...
US 1.
US
Thank you.
1, yeah.
Excuse me. I forget that you were totally in charge.
I am not totally in charge.
Oh, totally?
It is a partnership.
Just
like dance.
Like dance. So tell me about the dancing. I've seen you at many events, and you blow everybody out of the water. Where did you learn to dance, and where did you learn to dance?
So I started learning to dance when I was in high school, specifically. Musical theater calls for a lot of partner dancing.
What high school?
It was Clinton up in upstate New York. So right next to Utica.
That's like right next to Canada, isn't it?
No, that's the dead center of New York. But don't worry, you're not the first one that hasn't heard of it.
And where did you learn to dance?
I learned tap and jazz as probably a 5-year-old in Buffalo, which is basically Canada.
Are you excited about Buffalo football?
No, I
You know
was a
football
season
is?
ticket holder for some
What?
time, and no matter what, every year they let me down, so I'm not excited.
Wow. Okay, so how'd you guys meet?
We met dancing, actually,
Where?
at a Fred Astaire.
At the Fred Astaire in Buffalo, actually.
And what were you doing in Buffalo?
I was teaching dance.
You were teaching dance.
Yes.
And how old were you? And how old were you when you started?
I mean, so when I was teaching dance, I started teaching dance in college, but at the Fred Astaire, I think I might have been 23, 24.
And you just went in to learn.
Well, right. The thing is, I have 3 undergrad degrees, and I was
Wait, how many undergrad?
3. I have 3 undergrad degrees, and I was always working, and I was always in school, and then I graduated, and I realized that I had no hobbies.
So tell me your 3 degrees.
I have 2 degrees in nursing, and I have a psychology degree.
Which one did you get first?
Psychology.
So does that help? It's got to help you when you're teaching dancing, right?
I mean, I think so.
And then you got 2 degrees. What are the 2 nursing degrees? What are they?
I have my associates and my bachelor's in nursing.
And now you also play nurse how many days a week?
3 days a week at Jackson South. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. You're on the front lines, and Jackson's a great company.
They're phenomenal. Can't say enough good things about the hospital. They're great people to work with.
Yeah, so congratulations. All right, so why did you guys decide to open your own studio? What clicked it?
Well, we came to the area to work at the Fred Astaire in the Gables. And we didn't, just to be clear, we didn't move. The Gables is still Fred Astaire. We're all part of the same family. This is just our venture coming down here and opening in the Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay area. And really it was just, it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to get away from the snow for my wife, because I know that she loves the warmth down here. We don't have to shovel our cars out.
By the way, you look like you're from Miami. You fit. You don't.
Yeah, it's the classic upstate New York white guy syndrome. You know, I look out of.
Guy. I'm a short white guy, but you look like you're from New York. You could fit right in.
Thank you. It's a leopard. It helps.
Does anybody ask you? Do they speak Spanish to you?
Yes.
To you, they don't.
I mean, no, they don't.
They don't. All right, so let's hear about the location. Why don't you talk about the location? It's exciting.
Sure. So we are located at 14109 South Dixie Highway. We have just about 4,000 square feet in the shopping center there on the ground floor. We've got 70, 80 square feet of windows right out front. And it's fantastic. I mean, we renovated the whole thing. We have sprung wood floors, the whole 9 yards.
What do you mean sprung? What is it?
Oh, it's soft. So there's actually 2 inches of plyometric foam underneath your feet. So even though you're dancing on a hard surface, it actually has enough give that if you fall, you probably won't get a bruise.
Actually, it's really good for your joints, especially.
All right, so you got 4,000 square feet, and almost the whole thing's wooden floor.
Yep.
Almost. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you opening? Have you opened? Talk about it.
Actually, we open today.
Officially today, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be at work.
That was good. What time what time's opening? 10 o'clock?
No, so we're normally open Monday through Friday, 12 to 9, but we do take appointments outside of that time. Because private classes, we can schedule outside of that, but our normal hours are 12 to 9.
Okay, question. Do men come in, wherever you were, whether it's Buffalo or wherever it was in New York, Gables do men come in like me, go, I want to learn how to dance. My spouse, my partner, whoever it may be, they think they know how to dance. So I better learn how to dance. Does that happen?
I would say about 80% of my clients are guys coming by themselves who say, I got to learn how to dance. My whole family dances. My wife dances. My friends dance. I have to learn. You have to teach me.
Now, what kind of dances do the average person, the male, learned? What do they want to learn? What kind of dance?
Well, most of them come in with some like preconceived idea, like, oh, everybody does salsa, whatever, that's what I have to learn. But then once they start and we kind of start working on some foundation stuff, a lot of the time they realize, like, oh, I really like this, or oh, this is why I need this. Or if I'm going to go to the salsa club, I have to also know bachata and merengue and kizumba and all this other stuff because that's what they're going to dance at the
I
salsa
mean,
club.
can you teach me the bump?
I can try.
You never heard the bump? You never heard? Never.
No.
How old are you?
I can't tell you that, Grant.
The bump is an old dance in anywhere
Uh-huh.
in the 70s and 80s, and you use your hip or your butt and you bump. Never seen it?
Well,
Is this a dance or a move?
A dance.
because we do have
You stand up.
figure.
What? You stand up.
Uh-huh.
And during the music, boom, boom. You never.
And you just do that for the whole
That's
song?
the whole thing.
the whole song. Right, and you go from here, you go here, and if you're real comfortable with your partner,
You just go straight cheek to cheek.
yeah, and cheek to cheek. It's the bump, and you need to Google it because old people.
Yeah. I mean, we clearly have to offer this.
yeah, the bump. Yes,
You can offer it if you're so inclined.
Yes. All right. So I hear all the time, do you salsa? Do you do this? Do you do that? But you'll be able to teach basic dancing, freestyle too.
To a certain extent, we're trained in 25 style. So basically, anything you do with another human being, we can teach.
To me, it's amazing and beautiful when you see a couple, I don't mean couple, a pair dance in one rhythm, whether it's at a bar, a restaurant, or on television. It's just how amazing. It's like Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little unfair to me that some of the stars, they're athletes, and some of the stars are just movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
So some have advantage. Do you like watching Movie the Stars? And who's your favorite dancer on Movie the Stars?
So,
Dance with the Stars.
so with Dancing with the Stars, honestly, I know that my wife and I, we both love it because it does incorporate both dancing and teaching, which is something that's
Yes.
really unique. But unfortunately, I don't have the patience for the shows. They went from, I don't know, I feel like it was a 30-minute block to now it's 2 hours with all the ads and everything. So we'll just go and watch the dance highlights on YouTube or something.
But when they're teaching the dancing, they act like they only learn an hour at a time. They're teaching them 8 hours a day, right?
It's like a full-time
Probably
job.
sometimes more. Yeah.
And but it's amazing. This non-dancer learns how to dance after a couple of weeks.
Well, and that's the thing that I try to tell everybody. People come in and they say, oh, well, I can't dance. Okay. Have you ever learned? Have you ever spent the time learning? Well, no. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say that I'm bad at Italian or I can't speak Italian. I've never learned Italian. But if I put the time in, I'm sure that I could. The point here is that if you take the time, if you invest that in yourself, you can learn. Everybody can learn.
How many lessons will it take someone with 2 feet just to learn the basics? A month? 2 months?
So I actually love this question because we get it so
I don't want to
often.
embarrass
Yeah.
myself. I'm going
2
out.
feet.
I want to. What?
You want to make sure, you want to clarify, someone with 2 feet.
Yeah, not 2 left feet. 2 left. I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm going to the fancy wherever. I don't wanna
So
embarrass
so
myself.
I always like to answer with this comparison. So when I first started taking lessons, after about 6 months, I knew more about what I didn't know than what I felt like I knew. Like I knew that there was so much more I had to learn. But I went to a wedding. It was my cousin's wedding, and
How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
And everybody thought that I was this amazing dancer. Now, I knew that my teachers, I knew that my peers, everybody I'd been learning with that had been dancing for longer, that they were much better than me. But when I was removed from that environment and put in an environment of people that aren't taking dance lessons,
Right.
after 6 months, everybody was like, when are you going to be on Dancing with the Stars? And that wasn't because I was innately good. I'm a 6'2" white guy. Like,
You're white. Okay, so uh, so it proves to me, if you can learn, I can learn. But you're right. Some people go. I love, like, you go to a wedding, or you see it on TV, or you see it on YouTube. Couple, all of a sudden they're dancing like it's beautiful. They took lessons, but it's just beautiful watching people in one rhythm.
Well, I think my favorite part too is especially when you have couples or people who've been maybe together for a long time, uh, showing them that and kind of having them learn the language and that they can have a whole conversation together without actually speaking at all. Like it's like this new way to communicate. That for me, I think is like the most powerful part. You don't even speak the same language, but you can
Wow.
dance together.
And what do you think about all that?
well, I think that Elizabeth's analogy of dance as a language is one of the best analogies for dance, because partner dancing is a conversation. And you said something earlier about freestyle, like, do we teach freestyle? And when I hear that, like, we dance freestyle all the time, as far as, like, we might make something up. That doesn't mean that it's in a language sense, like speaking in tongues. It just means that you're speaking off the cuff. And that's what it feels like when you're dancing. It doesn't matter if you're doing a cha-cha, a samba, or a salsa, or a waltz. It's all the same. You're just trying to feel the music while communicating with a partner.
I like that you feel the music.
Yeah.
We were at an event together last Thursday. I didn't see you line dance. You did line dancing.
I did.
She did do some line
You
dancing.
did. I did. I
Yeah.
saw what he's like. His line dance. It was like he was saucing. He was like doing everything else but the line dance. But it's like, it was great. I watched it, and I happen to like line dance. I like watching everybody, that the 7 or 8 people that were doing line dance. You can see which ones are good dancers, one are just going through the motion, which one has rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so give me more history about you guys. So you moved from New York how many years ago? I keep
I
looking
think
at
it
you,
was-
but I really should ask her.
I think it was like 4.5 years ago.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
And you
4.5
both
years.
came down here to teach at Fred Astaire.
We did. We
Mhm.
came down here for Fred Astaire, and we love Miami. We love it here. We didn't want to leave, so we decided this was the place to open the studio
And where did you move to when you? I know that you worked at Gables. Where did your first place where you lived?
in the Gables.
Yeah, it was right in the Gables. Yeah,
Wow.
on Santiago Ave. Yeah,
Wow, you took the.
we went all in.
Gables happens to be a great community. You
Yeah.
still live.
Beautiful
You still live in the Gables,
Just south of it now, but yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a better.
yeah,
community.
close enough. Yeah.
It is a good core Gables. You great community.
Mhm.
You're involved with the business. Which business associations are you belong to?
So we are members of the Pinecrest Business Association, the Palmetto Bay Business Association, and they're wonderful people, by the way. If you haven't met them, I strongly recommend that you do. But we were talking to them also about Cutler Bay. I think they told us we should go down to the Cutler Bay Association too.
Ernie.
So, yeah.
Good people.
hmm
Listen, and where are you getting most of your clients from right now?
I would say the vast majority of phone calls, people that we get, are within a 3-mile radius, like mostly the Pinecrest area.
I
Which is
think
great.
when you're open and people drive by and at night and they look in the window, or there's, it's not like people are going to be shopping at the math. You're right next to what's your next door neighbor?
Mattress firm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But people are going to see dance and go, God, I want to learn. I want to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll shop for the mattresses during the day.
Correct. Exactly.
And then come see us later at night.
Oh, right. Well, the other way around. They learn how to dance. They might need a new mattress.
There you go.
Okay. So what do you do? What else do you do? She's a nurse. Do you do anything else or just teach?
So my background before dancing was in publishing and in physics, which is actually what my degree is in. So,
Physics.
yeah,
Astrophysics.
astrophysics.
In English, what does that mean? And what do you do?
So basically, it's kind of like astronomy. So like an astronomer, except you think of more of things in terms of the theoretical and calculating, different. It's more than just the observing. It's also more of the mechanics.
So, like, what kind of job did you have out of college?
I did what's called physical vapor deposition. So when you see those giant telescope lenses, well, we don't think about how a metal lens is made. I mean, nobody's there with, ironing out the tinfoil. Instead,
Right.
you put it inside of a giant vacuum chamber and you evaporate gold and silver onto it.
Where did you go to college?
Ithaca College in upstate New York.
I never knew Ithaca until about 20 years ago. A friend of mine's son went up there to play baseball.
Hmm.
I go, Ithaca. So how far is that from Canada? How far is that from Albany? It's close to Albany.
So Ithaca is in the Finger Lakes region. So it's a little bit of a drive from Albany in New York, maybe like 5 hours, give or take. But to Buffalo, it's maybe three hours, somewhere around there. It's a big state. Yeah.
New York's a very big state. Very big state. I've been there. Of course, the Hall of Fame baseball, Cooperstown.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, there's a big baseball tournament there every year. Little League baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't know that.
And it's crazy. The guy lives in North Carolina. He built 24 fields, if you're good at math, because you're pretty smart. 101 teams come every week, a different team. So it's 110 teams every week for 12 weeks. And he charges them $10,000, and he plays 6 games. Yeah, figure that. His billing's over $1 million just on registration. Yeah, and it's really not in Cooperstown. It's a block out, but it's brilliant because all these people coming into Cooperstown during the summer when it's slow. And so how do you know about that?
Actually, one of my coworkers at the hospital, a couple of them, their kids play baseball.
And they went to Cooperstown too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
World.
Small world.
Yeah, and when a parent goes, you can't shut up about it because, every team has the same shirt. You have red or blue or red. It's reversible. And everybody has to wear the same uniform. Everybody's treated the same. And if you're from, and phones don't work in Cooperstown. It's so high up. It's like when you go there, you're like out of the world. This is it. All right. So what is your favorite dance? What is your favorite dance?
I would say that my favorite dance is whatever's playing at the moment. I mean, at this point, I've been dancing for so long that as long as there's music and I get to dance, I'm happy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and to reflect on that, it's so easy to hear a rhythm and just think like, oh, I love this dance. Like for example, if a good samba comes on, like it has this percussive beat, and you just want to move and you just want to dance, and then you might be in a different mood later. So I say it's kind of like if you're asking like a foodie or if you're asking a chef, like, okay, well, what's your favorite food? And it's like that's. My life is food,
Depends. Is it Tuesday or Saturday?
Yeah.
So in New York, the music's different. When you came to Miami, the Latin beat, isn't it just the most beautiful thing?
I will tell you that, and I don't know why I didn't think about this. I consider myself an intelligent person. I will tell you that I dance significantly more salsa here than I ever thought. But it's beautiful. I love it. I love the culture here.
Now, do you guys go out dancing privately? Not part of your. Do you go to a bar or a disco or whatever they call and find a place and you go? We're gonna go there. We're gonna dance to some good music.
It's never necessarily the plan, but we'll still dance. I tell because people ask us all the time. They say, where do we go to dance? Like where do we go to use this? Now, obviously, my answer now is Fred Astaire Dance Studios, Pinecrest, but.
Right. There's only one place to dance.
Right. I mean, and truly, we want to build a community of people that just love dance. It's not, but for us, we might go out somewhere, and if there's a little bit of space and there's a song on that we like you make wherever you are a place to dance because you really don't need a special place.
It's funny. You do that. I love when you go somewhere and all of a sudden some couple just break out and just start dancing. Everybody's watching because everybody wants to be them.
Right.
And if they don't want to be them, they just want to watch them. He's like, I could do that. No, I can't. But you think that, and it's really beautiful. And you're right. All of a sudden, you're at some sporting event, and people out there, they just start dancing. Do they do that in New York? Miami, they do that. Do they do that in New York?
Yeah, I would say not the same because in Miami there is just a very specific concentration of salsa, bachata, that Latin rhythm.
What's the song? Bachata? What's that?
Bachata.
What's that?
It's actually, I would say it's more popular than salsa in terms of the amount of music that you hear. If you go out to salsa dance, you're probably going to hear a lot.
Is there a salsa dance place? Like where? Is there?
No, I mean, there are several places that have it. I mean, obviously, my wife and I, we did all the tours.
I like that, my wife and I. And you say, Me and my husband. You don't say that, do you?
I say Vincent and I.
Thank you. Vince, I got you in trouble there. I got you in trouble.
But-
Elizabeth.
But I was going to say, we did all the touristy things when we first came down. So the first thing we wanted to do is go to Ball and Chain, for example, because we heard there's salsa there. And if you go, of course there's salsa there, but it's also a bar. And there's not that there's anything disparaging about that.
There's
but
only about this.
The
much
flu
room.
and the
Right.
flu and the floors might be a little sticky, you know,
Right.
not disparaging Ball and Chain, but you know,
When they
people spill a
reopen-
drink.
When they reopen, fix the floor.
Well, but
And I'm telling you, fix it for Vince.
And that's the thing. We went to all these places and they're all, fantastic places to be. But for us and for a lot of the people that come to us, like they want to dance. We're not here to go out drinking and, we want to play the music and have a good time and connect to other people and have it not necessarily be based around, oh, we're going to go get drunk or, oh, we're going to go, out partying. Like we want to have a good time. So I joke about it all the time. It's good, clean fun. You can use it other places, but
Right. It's like if you're a tourist. If you're a tourist, you go to Bayfront and they got live music right there.
Mhm.
And they have a bigger space, but I'm sure the floor is not as good either.
I think we've danced there before. We've also danced at the brunch at the Biltmore because they'll have live music.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because there's a little space right in front of the.
Where do they have the brunch? I've never been there for brunch.
Oh yeah, so they have this
Really?
beautiful
You should.
outdoor.
It's 30 years ago.
They have this this outdoor seating.
Downstairs on the right there.
Yeah. And they normally have this wonderful. I wish I could remember his name, but this wonderful Spanish guitarist, and he might be playing like a nice salsa or an Argentine
And you
tango.
just
or
got up. You just got
Of
up.
course,
Yeah, of
Did,
course.
did everybody stop to watch?
Well, I mean, I would say
No.
that some. I mean, everybody's seated around circles, so
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they kind of.
Yeah, but did they think you were like part of the act or something?
We have been asked multiple
Yes.
times if we were part of the band, and I'm trying to imagine what people picture as this symbiotic relationship of musicians and dancers. And
And I'm sure the bands love it.
oh, of course, yeah.
someone's
So
interacting.
yeah, Ball and Chain is closed down for a little bit, and they're working on their permitting again.
Oh,
They get reopened. There's some legal issues, but there's a bar right next to it called the Cuban Museum, 2 stores to the east.
Yeah.
and it's interesting because there's restaurants up and down 8th Street that they play music to dance. Speak about dance. About music? Is that possible?
Sure.
Go for it. Pick a song. You want me to sing?
So, well, I can because you were asking earlier about.
Yeah, see,
bachata.
remember, we're only going to see the waist up.
So
Hold on,
you were asking before about bachata. So salsa has this forward and back rhythm, or if you're dancing Cuban style, it's just back and back.
Cuban or Latin?
Specifically yeah.
Puerto Rican.
But if we wanted to do bachata as a style is a side together side with a little bit of a hip bump. So we're
We're
going
getting the
back
bump
to
in.
50s.
I get the bump in. Yeah, baby. I got it.
As a style, this one is really fun to dance because you actually don't have to move that much. So you can do this after a night, a couple drinks, and you're not really too worried about.
Perfect.
You don't get too tired.
And they're going to say, excellent. Have a seat. She was outstanding. And Vince, you were okay.
Well, I did my job. I
He
should
makes
off.
me look good.
Okay, so for a guy, what kind of shoes should they wear? Because women have to wear high heels. I don't know why. So what kind of shoes? If you're going to go dancing,
Well, so it depends. So I always say if you
hold
don't
on, I
know,
got to show you something. Stand up for a second. Now, just turn around for a second. So the bump, you go boom, and then you go boom. That's a bump. So when you get done,
wait, what do you do after that? You just keep
I
switching
can't
cheeks.
go into detail. But you need to Google it, the bump. So what kind of shoes for men?
So I always say if you don't know what kind of surface you're going to be dancing on,
Right.
any shoe that you feel comfortable in, I normally recommend leather soles because they're a little bit more adaptable. But if you know that you're going to a place that's going to have wood floors or floors that are generally kept clean, we always dance in suede.
Okay.
So the bottom of specifically the bottom of the shoe is suede. And if you take care of it, it gives you enough traction where you don't feel like you're slipping everywhere, but it gives you the ability to pivot the foot without injuring the ankles and the knees, which is really what the key is. Because if you've ever done something quick on concrete and you feel your knee kind of
Right.
twist, that's because there's so much friction on the foot that it causes that ripple effect up the body.
Right.
And I will say also that we do have an extensive retail selection. So if you're interested in them,
Shoes?
we do
Yes.
have
Oh.
actually a whole
Okay.
stock.
Question: let's say I'm having a party,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, can we hire you to come teach?
Yes.
Like not line dancing, teach.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do group classes for events all the time.
So we could go to your place, or we could hire you to come to our place.
Yeah.
Like at a party. I mean, like the party we were at last week, they had line dancing.
Mhm.
Well, line dance is not real hard to do, but I think teaching salsa to everybody would be. It's a great idea. I don't know why I thought of that before, but
It's fun.
yeah, it's fun.
It's a good icebreaker, and it gets people moving.
Icebreaker. I like that.
Mhm. We also actually do have a separate ballroom. We have 2 ballrooms. So in the secondary room, a lot of the time we save that for private group classes, for private events, for stuff like that. So even if people want to come in like as a team building thing or like a corporate exercise, we can literally put you in a separate
I
room.
like that corporate building.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you won't be necessarily next to like the wedding couples learning for their first dance. Like,
were you nervous opening your new place?
I think you got to be more specific because,
because
opening any business,
Right,
is-
but you went from working for Fred Astaire, having your own franchise. Was it
Yeah.
exciting? Was it,
I would say that it's exciting because for us it is something, because I've worked at a few Fred Astaires so far and I've seen a lot of them, and for me specifically, the idea when you walk into work and it's something that you built, it is special. I would say, yeah, it's exciting.
Queen Elizabeth?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's mostly exciting because I've managed studios before. Most of our friends own or run studios. So, I would say more than anything, it's exciting. I know that we, not to toot my own horn, but we are both award-winning Fred Astaire teachers. Like, I know in this situation that we have always been successful. So
I just barely knowing you guys and seeing you in the marketplace for the last year or two, yours is going to be a big success, and your personality is shining, and it's going to be exciting through not just Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, but I think you're going to be serving South Miami, Pinecrest, Kendall, Cutler Bay, because people want to learn how to dance, and
I hope so.
and you're the only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls from people that say that they're excited because they don't dance, but they wish there was something closer. A lot of people in the Pinecrest and the Palmetto Bay area and more south of that, they've got to drive 30 minutes to an hour just to find a place.
Well, they don't need to drive anywhere now. 141st US 1, correct? On the east side, a lot of parking.
Yeah, we got a
A lot of parking, and it's truly an honor. I want you to close it out. Tell us why we need to learn how to dance.
Sure. So, to be honest with you, a lot of people think that, they want to learn how to dance because they want to go salsa dancing. They want to dance with somebody. But what they don't think about is all of the other things associated with dancing. They don't think about all the positive health benefits. They don't think about the fact that it's great exercise, that it's great for, oxytocin production, dopamine production. So it really helps with mood elevation. They don't think about the fact that it builds a community. They don't think about the fact that it establishes, this sense of achievement, this sense of pride. Like there's so many other wonderful things about it that dancing just feels like the thing that we do to get all of the other benefits associated with it. So to be honest with you, if it's something that you're even considering, give us a call. Let us show you what we do. We have an introductory lesson. It's 30 minutes. You don't have to commit to anything, and try it, because I'm confident that once you come in, once you see the facilities, you'll see what dance can do for you.
Fred Astaire, Pinecrest. Last question. I walk an hour a day.
Mm-hmm.
If I danced an hour a day, how many calories would I burn?
It depends on what kind of dance you're doing.
I would say
Square
that
dancing.
I would say that they've said something like, I've heard the number of like 500 calories or 1,000
600.
calories. Something like
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends on the
but it
kind of
really
dance.
depends, because it's kind of like if you say, well, if I go to the gym for an hour, how many calories am I going to burn? I was like, well, I've seen some people sit on their phone for an hour at the gym.
When I'm learning, can I be on the phone?
I don't recommend it.
Don't recommend it.
But it's exciting. I'm really proud of you guys, because it's not like there's a lot of studios down there. So you're taking a big challenge, and you're going to be very successful. If you have any questions, Fred Astaire, Pinecrest, let's wave and say goodbye to everybody. See you guys later. See you on the dance floor. How are